Problem 9. You're in a truck. There's a truck. It's headed east on Highway 8 at 17.9 meters per second. And it collides with a car headed south on Highway 7 at 5.09 meters per second. Assuming the collision is completely inelastic, i.e. they stick together during the collision, what is the magnitude of the velocity of the two vehicles after the collision? So we got to put together the initial momentum. We know the final momentum and solve for all of this. All right. So what do we know? We know the mass of the truck. We know the mass of the car. We know the velocity of the truck. We know the velocity of the car. So the momentum of the truck is mass of the truck, velocity of the truck, I hat, because it's headed it's headed east, so I hat. Momentum of the car is minus mass of the car, velocity of the car, J hat, because it's headed south, which is minus J hat in our convention. So we know what we start off with. We know PT, we know PC, and they collide and stick together. That means after the collision, the momentum is mass of the truck plus the mass of the car times some velocity we do not yet know. And we're after the magnitude of that velocity. So how do we get there? Well, momentum is conserved, so the sum of these, whatever we had beforehand, has to be equal to that. And so we've got PT plus PC equals our final momentum. Well, MT VT I hat minus MC VC J hat, all of that has to be equal to MT plus MC times our final velocity. And we don't know what direction that is in. Well, we have here everything we need. I'm just going to divide through by the total mass. Velocity is MT VT over MT plus MC, and that's our I hat component, minus MC VC over MT plus MC, and that's our J hat component. Well, we have our two components, and we have to get the magnitude. How do we get the magnitude? We take this component squared. This is our Vx, right? We take this component squared. That's our Vy. And so the magnitude of our velocity at the end is Vx squared plus Vy squared, square root. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. This is conservation of momentum. So you start by working out what momentum do we have to start with, what momentum do we have at the end. These have to be equal. Once I set them equal, the only thing in this I don't know is that velocity. And so I solve for that velocity. Once I have that velocity, I can calculate the magnitude. And that's it for problem 9.